Hello Dean and Denise, my name is Jacob. I'll be your instructor for today's 3 sessions. First session we'll be going through how to read an evacuation diagram. Second session will be all about personal protective equipment. And third session will be about back and body stretches while in the workplace. So a bit about me is I am working for a construction industry at the moment. So all of these things I do in my workplace. So first of all, before we start, if you go down the hall and hang a left and go down the stairs, that will be our emergency evacuation exit point. You go down the stairs, through the door, and it is on Garden Street. Corner of Garden Street, that is where our evacuation point will be, where our warden will bring you.
Okay.
We have toilets just through that door there, and our first aid kit and fire extinguisher is also around that door and to your right.
Thank you.
Okay, so as I said today, we will be looking at the evacuation diagram. Before we do that, we will be conducting a VAC learning system self-assessment questionnaire. So the VAK assessment will test and tell you what type of learner you are, whether you're a visual, auditory, or kinesthetic learner. You will have 5 minutes to complete the VAC learning self-assessment questionnaire. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know.
Thank you.
So Dean and Denise, after completing the VAC learning self-assessment, Denise, what has the VAC said your learning style is?
Jacob, they've said my learning style is an auditory learning preference, which I agree with. I prefer to listen to and by learning.
Okay, awesome. Dean, what has the VAC learning style said that your learning style is?
Jacob, it's actually visual, which I agree 100% because I always prefer to look at diagrams or a demonstration or video of something.
Awesome. Thank you too for both completing the VAC learning styles self-assessment. So now if you please go to your diagram, your evacuation diagram. Now I must tell you now that this is not an actual representation of this building's diagram. We do have one down the hall, but for learning purposes I thought I would get the best possible diagram with the most information for you guys to learn from.
Thank you.
So, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, there is an emergency information box. There are 4 letters, R-A-C-E, spells race. The R stands for remove people from danger. Removing people and yourself from danger is the most important step in this diagram. We do not want yourself to be put in any situation where you feel unsafe. We would like you to crawl on the floor and make your way to any emergency and the closest emergency exit in the most safest way. A stands for alert others and emergency services. We will have alarms and sirens going when there is a fire or an evacuation is needed. But if some people with hard of hearing can't hear the alarms, please notify them to follow you and lead them to the safest exit point.
Will do.
Close windows and doors to contain the spread, which is the C. It is important that you do that when it is only safe to do so. If it is not safe to do so, please do not put yourself in a situation where you think that it is your obligation to go close all the doors and windows. The last thing we need as a company is someone getting stuck because they feel like they need to close all the doors and windows. So again, I stress, only when safe, please go close all the doors and windows, which will help contain the fire. E, evacuate the premises. There will be multiple evacuation points and there will be wardens either directing you or at the evacuation points. So please just head to those evacuation points as calmly and as safely as you can so we can get a head count and we know who is in and who is not in the building. So next to the emergency information, you have a legend, which, as you see on the diagrams, there are lots of pictures and arrows, and I'm going to explain what the most important pictures and arrows are on this evacuation diagram. So the first one will be the green arrow. The green arrow is there to show you the safest and most efficient way to exit the building. Please be aware that sometimes you may not be able to go through every single arrow. Please find another safe and alternative route. The emergency exit sign, which is the green man in the door. That indicates where the doors are and the emergency exit stairs are for you to locate and to enter.
Jacob, is there two on this diagram only?
In this diagram, there is two, yes.
Right, perfect.
Located by the stairs,
Mm-hmm.
near the courtyard,
Yep.
and then one near the music room.
Okay,
Oh,
thanks.
okay.
Actually, sorry, there is three. There's also another one near the stairs. So there's two near the stairs and one near the music room.
Mm-hmm.
The "you are here" man, that indicates where you are in that certain room. So there will be an evacuation diagram similar to this, if not the exact same in every room, and that will indicate what room you are in and where the closest evacuation exit room is.
So if I'm in laboratory, there will be a "you are here"
There will be a
in
"you are here"
this diagram. Okay,
Yeah.
and then I follow that first green arrow out.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
The fire extinguisher. Again, with the fire extinguisher, if you are able to and you feel safe enough to go and use the fire extinguishers, please feel free to. There is 4 located on this diagram, one near the laboratory, one in the courtyard, one near the multimedia room, and then one opposite the classrooms. There is also a fire hose, which is the symbol located just next to the fire extinguisher outside the multimedia rooms. You can see there.
Oh,
That is the
Is
fire
there only
hose.
one fire hose?
There is only one fire hose in this
Okay.
on this certain floor,
Mm-hmm.
but you could see multiple fire hoses at different ends of the building.
Okay.
So that was your information and how to follow the evacuation diagram training session. Do you have any questions?
I have 2 questions. Can we keep a copy of this?
Yes, you can keep a copy of this.
And oh no, that's okay. I'm happy with it keeping a copy.
Dean, do you have
Thank
any questions?
no, Jacob, it actually makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Awesome. So now, after this training session, you have shown to me that you are capable and competent to effectively read an evacuation diagram and follow the evacuation diagram.
Thank you.
Thank you very much
Thank you, Jacob.
for
Thank
joining
you.
this session.
Thanks.
Welcome, Dean and Denise, to session 2 of our safety sessions. This safety session will focus on PPE, what PPE is and what PPE you use. So, to introduce myself, my name is Jacob. I work in the construction industry. I use PPE every day. It is the most important thing, not only in my industry, but thousands of industry around the world. After this session, you will learn and you will be able to notify what PPE you have to wear if you have to go onto a construction site, and identify what symbols mean what.
Okay.
So first of all, I have placed what I like to call a PPE heat. We use this in our industry to notify and inform people about what certain PPE is, and as you can see on the diagram, there's heat, and these are the most common PPE equipment that you will use. So PPE. PPE stands for Personal Protective Equipment.
Right.
Personal protective equipment may not always be supplied to you. Therefore, personal protective equipment may always not be supplied, but some companies, like our company, we do provide you with the basic personal protective equipment. So safety is a major issue in our industry, and especially construction and labour. Each year, accidents happen frequently in the construction industry, oftentimes due to people not wearing or not using protective equipment properly. The purpose of PPE is to reduce exposure to hazards when doing anything on a construction site, or even if you're in a chemical warehouse or in a science lab. PPE is the most important. So some of the basic PPE equipment, as you can see on PPE, is you have eye protection. Eye protection, and also you can have face protection on there as well, but also be called face protection. Eye protection and face protection are equally as important as other personal protective equipment. Safety goggles, spectacles, glasses as you're wearing as well, and full face shield can give you the protection needed for your eyes and your face. So when doing metalwork, woodwork, hot work and air tool operations, you will have to wear goggles, spectacles, full face masks. On PPE, you also have gloves. When using either heavy machinery or using even power tools, gloves will protect your hands from any cuts or will protect your hands from any cuts or anything falling, any sharp objects, or you sticking or stabbing yourself, which will then again lead into long-term causes if you do not wear if you do not wear gloves. That one there is steel cap boots. Steel cap boots are a must in our industry and in many industries. Steel cap boots are used to protect your toes and feet from heavy objects that you might drop or others might knock onto your feet, which can stop the crushing of your toes and feet. Okay. Head protection. Head protection is a must when working outside underneath anything that could possibly fall on you, or anything from the ceiling that could fall on you. That will just protect your head and your brain from causing any concussions.
Is that a safety helmet?
Yeah, it can also be known as a safety helmet.
Okay.
It's a hard hat or a safety helmet.
Yeah.
Under the hard hat or safety helmet, you have ear protection. Ear protection is used when you have using noisy machinery, using power tools that are noisy, because I know many people that have injured themselves from not having ear protection, and a long-term cause of now that are going deaf, purely because they have not worn the proper ear protection.
Yeah.
The last one is not that important on our industry, but in many other industries, it is a must, and that is protective clothing, long clothing. That will protect you from not only the sun, but it will also protect you from cutting yourself on any objects that you might walk past or brush past, and it also protects you from metal shards hitting you while using some certain equipment. If you look at your now, if you turn over to the next diagram that I've provided you, these are your safety signs. You will see these safety signs on all of our sites. These safety signs tell you when you need to wear your protective equipment, what protective equipment is needed on site, and what jobs will be done. So as you can see, we have our hard hat from before, our safety boots from before, our goggles from before, and our ear protection from before. This next one is nailing tools in use. So that means nail guns. So when you see a sign like this, please put on your ear protection and eye protection. to stop stray nails from shooting off that could either bounce back at you or go through a wall and hit you or hit someone else around you.
Just one question, should I have a helmet as well?
No, you do not have to have a helmet on this certain site if you see a sign like that.
Okay.
This last one is a danger sign. So you will see this. This just states, as it says on the picture, that only authorised personnel are allowed onto the site. This can also come under contractors. We need our contractors to go through an OH&S safety course before doing any work or commencing any work onto our site. You guys are now doing your OH&S course, so you are authorised personnel because you're under our company and you're classified as an employee.
Right.
So now if you could please move them aside. As done in the previous training sessions, please complete your VAK learning style self-assessment, please. Okay, Dean, the next. Thank you again for completing the VAK learning style self-assessment. As the previous training session, are the answers and is the self-assessment the same as the other training session? Denise?
No, I got a visual learning style in this one because of the pictures.
Yeah, okay, so that's very common, provided that we have, as I have here, we've provided you many pictures and it is a persuasive way, and it depends on what training session and what tasks you complete. And you see multiple people that do these tests come out with either having all three or two of the exact same.
Okay.
And it is not common for someone to have the exact same all the way through. Dean, was yours the same?
Actually, yes, Jacob, because it was visual again, and obviously it was a lot of pictures. So,
So this, you can say that this training session was well suited to you and you could easily understand it.
100%, I agree.
Awesome, thank you very much. Okay, so now after completing this training session, you are now shown to me that you are competent enough to understand what Pete has on and what you should be wearing when you go to site. What personal protective equipment is and why you need to wear it and when you need it. Thank you again.
Thank you,
Jacob.
Jacob.
Thanks, Jacob.
Welcome back, Dan and Denise. This is our final session for today. What you'll be learning is seated stretches. This is useful for if you're working at a desk for a long amount of time. You should be doing these stretches every hour. Every stretch will stretch out different parts of your body. Doing these stretches will help you with any injury or stiffness that you have sitting at a computer desk in the work environment that you are at. Before I start, is there anyone with any medical conditions or any injuries that cannot partake in this stretching session?
No,
No.
I'm fine.
No.
Awesome. Perfect. Let's begin. So why stretching is important? Dean and Denise, do your shoulders or back and neck ever hurt after a day off?
Yes. Regularly.
It can easily happen when we sit down for a long time, and many of us spend more than 7 hours a day sitting at a desk just doing that, just sitting and typing at a desk. These aches and pains can make us more uncomfortable and can actually slow productivity down. It is important to stay fit and healthy even when at work. Even doing these little stretches can help every little bit. So for the first stretch, we will be doing a seated spinal rotation. So if you could please sit back in your chair with your feet firmly on the floor. Place each hand crossed and touching your shoulders. Rotate your upper body from waist and turning gently to the right. Hold and release gently back to the front and then to the left. Hold and come back gently. Awesome. So you should have felt tension on both the sides of your lower back. Did you feel?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
still stretch out. Next one is the posterior shoulder stretch. So after me, so what you do is you get one arm straight, turn it across, put your hand to your elbow and push towards your chest. You should feel your shoulder gently stretching. Hold for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and release. Then do the other side, please. 1, 2, 3. Please remember to breathe while doing these stretches. It's nice slow breathing into the nose, out through the mouth. Shoulder shrugs. Please gently lift your shoulders up to your ears. Hold and let them fall slow. One more time. Up and let them fall slow. You should feel tension being released as your shoulders drop. So you have now sitting back extensions. So please sit straight with your feet again flat on the floor. Please get the palms of your hands and put them at the lower back. You are then going to push and put your chest out in front of you. Lean your hands back and you should feel a lower stretch in your back. And release. Neck rotations. So please sit straight up, back in the chair, head upright. You're going to gently turn your head from side to side, starting to the right. And go. And back. And down to the left. And back. So you should feel your muscles in your neck gradually stretching. Last but not least, we have the shoulder extension. So, as all of them, please put your feet flat, back against the chair. You're going to interlock your fingers, reverse them out, stretch as high as you can. Holding, remember to breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. You should feel your shoulders slowly stretching. And release. Awesome, thank you very much. So that concludes our seated stretches in our last session for today. Thank you, Dean and Denise, for being a part of our 3 sessions for today.
Thank you, Jake.
It was a
Thank
pleasure
you.
having you. Do you have any questions?
No thanks.
No.
Thank you.
Awesome.